Good morning, everyone. This is Jameel Ahmed. I'm Director Services at Trade Development Authority of Pakistan. First of all, it's indeed a great pleasure for me and honor that I'm included in the session. This is in fact a very informative and interactive session going to be held regarding the tourism sector. It's one of the, you can say that one of the efforts that we are putting in our organization in order to promote the trade across the country. So first of all, I would like to thank all of the distinguished speakers of our panel, including Mr. Maqsood al-Mulk, President and Pato, and Mr. Tariq Siraj, Chairman TAP, and Mr. Humayun Mushtaba from Embassy of Pakistan, Bangkok, Dr. Anne Sueri, Associate Dean, Graduate School of Tourism Management, and Mr. Farooq Sharif, TIC, Bangkok, and those who have joined us in the session. So first of all, I would thank you again for joining us in the interactive session, for giving your enlightened thoughts about the topic and your views that how we can promote our tourism in the country and how we can collaborate with each other. So indeed, if we talk about the tourism sector in Pakistan, it's gonna wide with the passage of time, starting from the north with so many adventurous things, including high adventures, rafting, and so many other things in tracking. It's a wonderful place if you look at the north side. And on the south side, if you go, there's it's rich of cultural things. It has so many monuments. It has so many cultural things that you would be amazed to see them. So it's a blend of culture and adventure. So Pakistan has been wonderful place for tourism, and it has been marked recently. The government of Pakistan is also focusing on the tourism sector, and many tourists from abroad have been invited, and they have visited Pakistan as well, and they have appreciated the efforts of government of Pakistan that have been taken recent past. So coming to our topic of the webinar, which relates to our Buddhism tourism and Buddhist tourism, and Pakistan is not only you cannot specify and limit it to the adventure sector. It is also rich in the religious sector, and it is also the religious tourism. So we are also open for the religious tourism. It's especially Pakistan's Ganga civilization. Everybody knows about. It's also civilization are very strong across the country. If you just see this region of Mardan, Texla, and Sawat, you would see that it has which it was continued by the that have still have like strong marks in the region. So today in our session, about how we can actually collaborate and how we can promote further. In fact, we are doing it. In addition, are collaborating with each other in order to promote our religious, cultural, and adventurous tourism. So today we are focusing on Buddhist tourism, and we'll be talking about that, how we can collaborate the different stakeholders, how they can come closer to each other, and how they can promote the tourism sector. So for the purpose, the webinar is an effort to connect the local and the foreign tourists and their like activities, their interests, how we can connect them to each other. So today we'll be talking about it. So again, thanks all of you and joining us for this webinar. I would love to hear your comments. I would love to hear your feedbacks. I would love to hear your suggestions. So we are open for your views. Thank you, everyone. Over to you, Ali.
Thank you, Mr. Jameel Ahmed, Director Services TDAP, Karachi. Moving on, considering that trade associations specifically focused on travel and tour industry, being co-partners and hosts in this webinar and all the events of TDAP, we will request them for their opening remarks. First of all, I will request Mr. Tariq Siraj, Chairman, Travel Agents Association of Pakistan, for the opening remarks. Tariq sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ali Yarhan. Thank you very much. His Highness Humayun Mushtaba, the Consular Affairs Pakistan Embassy in Bangkok. His Highness Mr. Farooq Sharif, the Trade Investment Council of Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. At the outset, I, on behalf of Chairman Travel Agent Association of Pakistan, TAP, and the behalf of Tourism Committee of the Pakistan, present my best wishes and the compliments, and appreciate the Trade Development Authority of Pakistan and the Embassy of Pakistan in Bangkok, Thailand, and organizing webinar of the opportunity and challenges for the Pakistan Buddhist tourism. It is my privilege and honor for me present opening remarks on the subject of recent subject. So right now, Travel Agent Association of Pakistan. I just want to let you know about the association. A national association established in the 1974, having a principal office in Karachi, duly registered and licensed by the Ministry of Commerce, Government of Pakistan. Mandate represent travel and tourism community of the Pakistan, affiliated with the UFTA Federation and Pakistan Chamber of Commerce, and the Industry Federation, FPCCI, PATA, and Federal Province of the government are organizing to serve the forum for raising the educating to airlines and they promote Pakistan tourism both inboard and outboard, to protect the interest of the air trade, travel trade, and allied services. So in COVID, Pakistan has a huge tourism potential, as the Honorable Prime Minister of Pakistan unveiled shortly before coming to the power, states that the travel and tourism will be the priority agenda of his government to promote a position of Pakistan as Asia's best kept secret in the global tourism market. But unfortunately, after the outbreak of the corona pandemic has brought unprecedented challenges of the multiple fronts across the world, travel and tourism sector is the worst hit industry of this pandemic since last year, March 2020, where the most of the countries witnessed and plunged in the economics, particularly with the tourist activities almost coming to zero. By the grace of Almighty Allah, Pakistan is among the lowest affected countries in the casualty of the pandemic and the other nations. Pakistan has the world's best tourism assets by the virtue of its history, culture, diversity, and the geostrategic position in the region. Beside the Buddhist spiritual sites, as such, vast opportunities of the religious heritage and the traditional tourism in the Pakistan exist. Prior to outbreak of the novel coronavirus, the government of Pakistan has eased the visa processing of the foreign tourists and implemented the liberal visa policies, including for the Buddha and the Sikh pilgrims to the visits their religious shrines in the Pakistan resulted in the significant increase in the number of the tourists in Pakistan. I hope this event will be bring Pakistan and Thailand much closer in the religious tourism. Concluding my views, I appreciate Mr. Anis Iqbal and the other organizers, member of the association, and who will give his presentation based on his research on the Buddhist and tourism in Pakistan, and would like to once again accord thanks to the organizers and the participants of their valued time and the remarks. So I think this is the great opportunity to avail awareness from both sides. Our Thai members who are sitting in Bangkok and our Pakistani members who are sitting in Pakistan to provide the knowledge, exchange knowledge, and welcome those people who are interested to come in Pakistan for the particular this Buddha's tourism. So thank you very much. And I hope so this webinar will be explore many ways for the explore Pakistan with the Thailand. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Tariq Siraj Sahab. Moving on to the second association, most important association, Pakistan Association and Tour Operator. We have the Vice President, Mr. Azmat Awan Sahab with us. I will request you to please briefly open the seminar. Thank you so much.
Good morning and great to see you all at this webinar. Mr. Ali Yar Khan, thank you very much for hosting this webinar. I appreciate efforts of Trade Development Association of Pakistan, and you especially, you have been very active to organizing this seminar, this webinar. Being the co-host, I will also like to welcome you all for arranging this opportunity on the subject, opportunities and challenging for Pakistan's Buddhist tourism in Thailand. Certainly we will discuss on the subject, and hopefully we will be able to get the results. And the results, certainly we are expecting to have Thai tourists, Thai pilgrimage tour from Thailand to Pakistan. You see, Pakistan have a great tourism scope. We have mountains. I will say our north is full of mountains. We have mountain ranges like Himalaya, Karakoram, Hindu Kush, and Himalaya, Karakoram, Hindu Kush, and Pamir. So this north can be a good adventure spot, but it's not only mountain area. We have a lot of Buddhist, not the sites, but we have a lot of petroglyphs from the Buddhist period, from you can say 2nd century to, we can take the tourists to the north. And then we have master product for Thai people, and that can be Gandhara. You see, Gandhara, it was a center of culture and art, and that lies in the northwestern part of Pakistan. And the areas presently, we can say it includes Charsada, Peshawar, Swat, Takhtibai, Taxila, You can include Peshawar, you can include Mansehra as well, and some parts of Salt Range as well. Our association, you see, we are about 200 members, having our offices all over in Pakistan. A lot of members are from North because now we have them in the northern part of Pakistan. But for South, you see, we have culture tourism, and Pakistan have ancient history, and that starts from Indus Valley civilization and Gandhara Valley civilization. We can say it's the second civilization in Pakistan, and the period you can say 3rd century BC to 8th century AD. So this is what we offer to the tourists, and you see. I hope we will have a successful webinar, and I appreciate TDAP for making effort for this. Thank you, Aliyar Khan.
Thank you so much, Azmat Saab, for the opening remarks. I would now request our chief guest, Mr. Humayun Mushtaba, CCA, Embassy of Pakistan, Bangkok, Thailand, for their chief guest address with special focus on facilitation for issuance of tourist visa. Over to you, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Humayun Mushtaba, and I am Consular Affairs, Pakistan Embassy. I hope you can listen me.
Yes, we can listen. It's
thank you very much. When I arrived in Bangkok in 2019, one of my target was to promote Pakistan as a tourist country and as a most peaceful country in the region. In this regard, I have visited myself along with ambassador and others consulars to the different places. Especially, I went to Chiangmai. We met with the Arya Vajira Mehdi, the monk in Thailand, and asked him to visit Taxila, because the Buddhists, they have a lot of affiliation with this place, Taxila, and the other places also. So, first of all, I would like to tell you the environment in Pakistan. Since 2015, you know, the security environments are very peaceful in Pakistan. And after this new government, the Pakistan has promoted tourism, especially the scenic tourism. And when I arrived here, I see that there are basically two types of tourism promoted. One is the scenic tourism, which is our Northern area and the Swat and the other area. And for the Buddhist, we have, for the Buddhist interest, we have Taxila, Swat, and few other places where they can go and visit. In this connection, the Pakistan Embassy held 2 seminars also, in which they have invited Mr. Adnan from Swat and Dr. Muhammad Ashraf from Pakistan. And this seminar was held in Siam Royal Society, in which about 200 people participated. And tourist operator, they were also invited, and they participated in the seminar. And the other seminar, which was held again in Shangri-La in 2019, and one of our minister, he was chief guest in the seminar. He also spoke about Pakistan soft image and Pakistan's scope for the tourism. So basically, Pakistan Embassy is making its efforts since 2-3 years to promote the tourism in Pakistan. And to continue this, the most vulnerable Arya Wansu, he visited Taxila, and he was welcomed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He was given briefing also, and he had a meeting with the President of Pakistan also. And then the most vulnerable planned to visit again for the rainy retreat, but due to the COVID pandemic, you know, his visit was postponed. He planned twice, but it could not be visited. And then the other visit was also planned by the Vajira Mehdi, another very renowned monk in the Chiangmai. But again, it was postponed due to the COVID. Even then, the Pakistan embassy is always trying its best to ask the other Buddhists to visit Pakistan, because for them it has a lot of interest. But due to the COVID, everybody knows that very less people are visiting after the spread of coronavirus. Although everyone knows that we have no restriction for the visitor, we have no quarantine and no other problem, but due to the COVID restriction, there are very less number of tourists. They are visiting now to the Pakistan. Coming over to the visa, when I arrived here, basically we used to issue visa manually. But after the government took initiative, and they have basically now convert this facility to the basically online visa. And the process is very easy and simple. And you can just open the application. It is available on the Pakistan Embassy website. And if you and the Facebook page and embassy page, and the other links are also available on the Google even. You just have to fill the application, have to deposit fees, which is very less. It is $25, and visa validity is 3 months time, and the processing time is only 3 to 7 days. Even it can be further reduced because of the online. So you can get the visa even 2 to 3 days even. So you have to just attach few documents, your passport copy, your identity card, and you have to attach the invitation letter. And if you are visiting someone, you have to attach his invitation letter, or if you are going to stay there, you have to just confirm the hotel booking. So the process is very easy for the visiting Pakistan. And even then, if somebody has problem, the Pakistan embassy is always available, the consular section, to facilitate all the tourists and to promote tourism in Pakistan. Thank you very much. If you have some question, which I will reply at the end.
Thank you, Mr. Humayun Mushtaba, for the role of embassy for the promotion of tourism of Pakistan. Now moving on to the keynote address by Dr. Answare Ashton, Associate Dean, Graduate School of Tourism Management. Let me introduce and briefly introduce her to the participants. Miss Answare Ashton, Associate Professor, was graduated with a PhD and Master's degree from the University of Queensland, Australia. She is currently working as Associate Dean for the Administration at the Graduate School of Tourism Management, National Institute of Development Administration, NIDA, in Bangkok, Thailand. We hope to hear from her on wellness tourism. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me to be here. First of all, I'd like to get access to share my, can you let me share my PowerPoint?
Yes, Ms. Ann, at the bottom, there is a share screen button.
Yeah, I can share, but I need the host to allow me to be able to share. Yeah. You need to go to setting and then go to video, you go into my name and allow me to share. Okay. Allow Ann Ashton to share. Okay, I got it. Thank you. Excellent. Just bear with me a second and I will have a video. And okay, please let me know if you see the screen.
Yes, we can see the screen.
All right. Okay. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for inviting me here. Sawadee-ka. As already introduced me, my name is Anne. You can call me Anne. So now I currently work as a researcher and lecturer at National Institute of Development Administration, or you may be known as NIDA, in the tourism school I am also the researcher, and I'm interested in wellness tourism. And maybe I will introduce a little bit about the current trend and the situation market of the religion tourism and spiritual tourism and how it related. And then I'll give you some my current research that had been published, and then they have some suggestion which is maybe able to apply to develop the destination in Pakistan. So the topic that I will cover today, I will give you a little bit of definition of wellness tourism and how its wellness is become the next new normal trend for us all around the world, and how wellness is related to spiritual and religion, the preferences of the Thai market tourists, how is a culture that related to spiritual and religion tourism, existing market and regulatory or structure or the destination development. Some suggestion that is out for my research project. So the introduction to the spiritual tourism may be as a term of the academic, we have known as a spiritual retreat tourism. And it's separate into two parts. You know, one is related to religion and another one is not related. Anyone can participate. So basically, as you may know, what do all humans want in our life? I'm sure if you ask yourself, we need comfort, we need mental recovery, we need education, we need nutrition and diet. And this is a very basic for us all. And nowadays, after post-COVID-19, I believe that the trend of people will need wellness tourism related to spiritual will be increasing. And I'm sure that the people who want to go and be safe, and who are those people, if you will focus, from some of my study, I found that there are regional and the spot that need to focus that, and the people are more interested in the world is Southeast Asia, because we are rich with the culture, and who are those, the market, which is, I found that, you know, the millennial group is the group of the people, or maybe we can call Generation Y. The reason that this target market will be like to travel, and then they are interested in different kind of the tourism type, but including the spiritual. So the millennial group is, if you will see that age, is maybe about 26 to 41 in 2021. And these people are from graduated few years, and then they are already built their career, and then they look for the adventure, they look for the mind recovery, and especially about wellness tourism. And then, right, I want to brief a little bit about wellness and wellness tourism definition. So that basically is mean a lifestyle that oriented towards optimal health. They have a good feeling and in which the body, mind, soul, and related to without sickness. And in terms of wellness tourism, it means that when the people are travel or the journey, their main purpose is they want to have good health. And some of them, they travel just to keep themselves as have a good health. And some of them, they go for leisure, but they still want to maintain their regular exercise, regular health, well-being, and nutrition. So this is a model that I developed for my study. Basically, if you talk about wellness tourism, there can be categorized into 4 activities area. The first one is sport and leisure for health, and spa and massage, healthy food, and the last one is spiritual, which is when we categorize of all of these activities. For example, sport and leisure, I think that the people go for just a physical. If you have a look in the top here, you know, they're talking about physical appearance. People going there just want to be healthy, good looking, good appearance. They want to have mental well-being. They want to have emotional well-being, can control a daily emotional, and then they want to have social well-being. It means that when they go to the destination, they like to learn about culture. They like to learn about authentics and about local wisdom of the country. And I believe that in Thailand, we have a lot of local wisdom, and I'm sure that after I study a bit about the Pakistan, I think you have all of these attributes that we can develop this as a wellness destination, which is, it will include spiritual tourism and religion tourism. So this is my current model that form all of my wellness tourism study. And so if we will focus on only one of the activities under wellness, it calls spiritual tourism. And also that spiritual, you know, sometimes people can believe in some religion. And if you have all activities that provide for those people who are able to participate, for example, spiritual tourism retreat, it can have activities that not related to specific religion. For example, you can do yoga or you can do meditation, or the religion tourism that people are going there just to pay respect. So these two types, it can be either non or religion can take part in the activities. So basically, if you will describe that if I'm gonna go to Pakistan, my religion maybe is not a religion that country is majority. However, the reason I go there, just firstly, I go to have a look at culture, heritage. I'm look at where the unique destination that related to religion. And also I have my recovery. So basically, religion tourism and spiritual is when you combine together in one main purpose is they want to have my recovery and also for leisure. And I'll give you some of the preferences of Thai market in tourist and spiritual tourism that I have conduct a field research with my PhD student. And also I have some publication already. So basically the characteristic of the spiritual religion tourism is, you know, like pilgrimage sites, the site of religion and festival, religion's tourist attraction. So these three ring here, if you go back to have a look and apply, I think that in Pakistan, you have very unique of the destination site, and you have religion, and also you have festival. And all those festivals are related to the religion, which is people from outside can learn and can participate. But the reason that how can we make them understandable? How can we develop destination? And how can we make stakeholders or tour operator to understand about what will you give it to them, and then they receive with their expectation. So as we know, you know, many destinations we have famous around the world. You know, as you all may know, that religion tourism is the people are going there just, you know, like follower of faith and beliefs, and try of those who visit location and they consider as a holy sites. Religion sites are not only visited by the pilgrim, but also visited by non-religion. So basically, you have a rich culture of religion destination, but how can you make that for non-religion and then visit in your destination? Religion tourism famous in different countries, you know, like in Vatican City or in India or in Nepal, where the original of the Buddha, and in different famous one. However, may I bring up the cultural heritage and religion tourism in Thailand? And as you may know, in Thailand that we are a Buddhist country. However, we still have a few people who believe in other religion, especially at the southern part of Thailand. We have Muslim more. But in all over the place, we are promoted about the Buddhist tourism and religion. So basically, you know, Buddhists in Thailand, and as you may know that originally is from Nepal, you know, and India and something like that. And then after that in Thailand, we have a strong culture of tourism. But not only that, we have a few people in Thailand. There also we have, as Thailand, we are multi-diverse culture. We also have Christian. There are many places that you can visit as a heritage site. If you can see this picture, it's a church. But in the old day, you know, long time ago, we have missionary go to try to promote their religion, you know, go to the ethnic group, and then they built the church, but it blend with the Thai culture. And this is kind of thing that it will become destination attraction, religion, and also study in terms of culture and heritage. And as I, you know, and I have a look at in Thailand, we also promoted, before we have COVID-19, we launched the Thailand launches Muslim friendly tourist app. You can find all the destinations through the app, and we have it cater for specific religion, and especially in Muslim and in the southern part of Thailand. And this is one of the projects that TAT have promoted. And it's also another popular one, you know, in Thailand. If you ask the Buddhist tourists, we say that religion, tourism, worship, activities, tradition. The TAT recently, because we have COVID-19, many of us have facing with the depression, emotional, especially now we stay at home. We can't go anywhere. In Bangkok, the number is rising. So you know that emotional is, even though you become very positive, however, you still have that emotional, everything closed and shut. So we have launched one campaign is on 25th of March recently to promote the 9 temple, you know, worship 9 temples, a religion tour. And this is one of the most popular in Thailand. So there we have a tour like in one day or maybe in 2 days, a package tour. You visit 9 temple. Why 9 temple? If you know Thai language, 9 is mean 9, or we call 9. 9 is mean progress or development. So if you do anything with number 9, Thai people as a Buddhist believe that you will be developed everything in a positive way. So we have that campaign, visit 9 temple, as to make themselves feel better, spiritual retreat, and also to visit the cultural heritage of the temple in Thailand. And also we don't have only about temple, but also we have some culture, festival, and that link into religion. I give you a couple, you know, they have a lot, but I give a couple just, you know, to get a significant festival in Thailand. We call Loy Krathong, or festival of water. We worship the water. The reason we have this festival because it happened every year in November. It is coming. This festival is like of light, is also known as Peng or Lanna festival. Originally is in north of Thailand, Chiangmai or Sukhothai. Basically, this festival is linked into the Buddha. We adhere to the basic rule of Buddhism. You know, we to pay homage to the river, and we ask for forgiveness. You know, we have celebration, and also we have some fun in this festival. It may be happen 2 or 3 days each year, and it's a big festival in Thailand. What do we have? You know, all the East symbol that have the meaning. We have, for example, you know, in the time of the Loy Krathong festival, every household we will decorate our gate with the nice flowers, with decoration, and to welcome. We believe that the Buddha, welcome the Buddha. So we have decoration, the temple, the entrance and the house, is a good fun. And is it this fun to promote Thai culture linked into Buddhist religion? And also, not only that, after the religion finished, we have the festival like contest. We call Nang Noppamas beauty contest every year. In each region, we will have the people come and, to celebrate. After that, we have contest. So this is some fun and one of a unique and very attractive festival in terms of religion in Thailand. Each year before COVID-19, we will have a lot of tourists to just come here to participate. So in my opinion, if you have any festival that unique, we can promote that into your region. We can make influence tourists to go into your destination. Another festival in Thailand, they call Songkran Festival, or we call Thai New Year, and also linked into religion. Within 3 days, we have a meaning, we have New Year, we have celebrate the New Year and the new day. So all of those festivals that link into temple, like one of the picture here, for example, you have the sand, and we believe that, every day we go to temple in the old day, we have sand all over the temple. And after that, when you go home, you bring the sand back, and then after that, once a year, you need to carry the sand, put it in the temple, and then you can use as because in the old day, we don't have concrete like that, and that old tradition, we still have that. We are pouring water to the elderly and to ask for blessing. We go to pouring water to the Buddha and to make our life New Year as leaving all the bad thing behind. And after that, we have activities, pouring water to each other, and then we enjoying that. So this festival will be the most important in Thailand as a New Year, as a festival, and as a tradition that we are doing in our life. It's nothing new for us, but it's very attractive to the tourists. So this is some example. Let me give you some spiritual retreat tourism research that I had done for the last 3 years. I'm talking about the spiritual tourism in terms of non-religion. It's the activities that we are doing, for example, meditation for peace and mind. We sit, we walk, and meditation. We have silence activities, and we have a tourists who come from around the world. And this is one of my study, and I will show you. So one of the main thing that I found, why is Asia is well positioned to be a global leader in health wellness tourism, especially about religion tourism. Increasing in the artificial world, many Western tourists are seeking for return to nature, natural elements. The eye of the consumer, Asia offer an intake world with the authentic, original, genuine, and deep encounter to the destination. The trend of the world towards and more people are seeking natural treatment. And also after COVID-19, I think that a big massive destination, new modern high riding or a massive hotel, maybe it will not become popular anymore. People need social distancing, but people still want to travel. I'm sure next new normal, because we are in new normal life already, I'm sure that next new normal, the tourism will become more and more than ever, but in a new form, in a new product and service environment. You have just respond to what they need. So also why Asia is popular. I'm sure that I asked many friends of mine in Pakistan. They said, come over to Pakistan because it's not that expensive. The cost is very economic, but I'm not that, we're not taking that advantage because we are coming here. We want to get authentic. We want to save. They want to extend their pocket money as far as they can, but have to be reasonable to the local community. Need to earn money as well from selling their own product. What's the product? Their local lifestyle. Like I said, the tourists, wellness tourists, they don't just want to go there and they just don't want to meditation and go home, take a picture of the heritage, not go walking in the mountain and see the scenery. No, wellness tourists, they like to have, they call social well-being. It means that they need to go to help community. They feel good. If you ask yourself, if you give, you may more happier than take. So these people, they like to give, they like to help, and they like to learn about local culture. So this is very good opportunity for the community at a destination, can turn themselves, can turn their unique lifestyle into the product. Maybe not totally a wellness, but I'm sure there are many, many resources in your country can be promoted. But how can we make it balanced? Make their lifestyle also have a good quality lifestyle as well. So that this is a tourist behavior, how you develop that, okay? So I've done this study 2 years ago, and it had been published in Publisher A journal. It's a good quality one. So it's called the Spiritual Retreat Tourism Development in the Asia Pacific region. I investigate the impact of tourist satisfaction and intention to return to Chiang Mai, Thailand. So overall of my participants is come from USA, France, Australia, Germany, New Zealand, Austria, Switzerland, and a total of 400 of them. So basically male and female, not much different. And they are like a young age, but the maximum age is about 61. And the group of the people between 20 to 30 is about 60%. As I said before, that the majority of the tourists, when if you want to focus on this specific age group, they are the highest number for the spiritual tourists. And what did they say? They're talking about, internal motivation. They want to go there, they just want to escape. They want to have a relaxing. They are to overcome their own limitation. They gain more self-confidence. They have a good health, well-being, physical appearance, and escape. But the most important one is here, novelty. I have a high number and percentage that infant satisfaction, and then they will return because they said they want to gain knowledge more about spiritual, about religion, and also about heritage. And then they feel good to themselves. And after that, they feel that they have mind recovery. How about the destination they want to go and what they like about Thailand? My sample said they like the destination the most. Top here is authentic experience, original activities, local culture, tradition, and the festival. Nature setting, surrounded by nature environment, and have to be peaceful, far from usual place. It means that they don't want to be near in the city. They want tranquil, they want peaceful. And the last one, they said, is historical significant. There must be the place that have faith and the well-known for the spirit, for the spiritual, So in Thailand, for example, like in north of Thailand, we have many temples are well known as a high respect Buddha and high respect destination. So we have, but one thing is it managed. Usually we should be managed by the tour operator. But in Thailand, spiritual tourism, it's still developed and it's still catered and so provide service by the monk. And in my opinion, in my study, and that is the limitation. Sometimes the monk have to perform their religion, they have to practice, they have to do meditation. They are not the tour operator to provide the facility. And that is the response to my study said, I wish the monk can speak English. I cannot communicate. Sometimes I need something, but most of these tourists, they're very, very low demand because these people are ready to be there with nature. They don't need a high-rise building. They don't need internet. They don't need anything. It's modern. They wear the clothes very minimal, very simple. And they stay in the place where you don't have to have air conditioning sometimes. And they are happy, but just only communication and just some basic service to them. So another thing that the need for effective development and management of spiritual religion, this is another study that I do the last 2 years. The tourism organization related to business, travel agent, hotel, spa, hospitality, including health wellness business. Green environment, you need to have that. Cultural based, famous spiritual, you have that. And also the most important thing is one-stop service. You can go into buy a package. You can have activity for them. You can provide accommodation. You can have extra program that they can explore the heritage site and provide accurate, useful information for them. They need to know a real one. They need to know when they get there, the information are there for them and correct. So that some other activities, in Thailand, we have recently, we call the yoga festival. And this is part of the spiritual tourism. And this kind of activities, anyone can participate. And this is regarded as spiritual tourism development. So they have yoga. Thailand, we have organized yoga festival. And you know what? My study said nowadays, more and more domestic are demand for this kind of package because they cannot go overseas. The rich people cannot go out. And then they're frustrated, they stay at home, they have money to spend that. So one of the tour operator in Hua Hin provide a package 2 or 3 days. You can go there and do yoga. You can go there and have some healthy food. And you can go there to have activities and social among other people. And this is my recent study said that yoga destination, you have to have core resources, you have supporting resources. Basically, the non-government need to work hand in hand with the profit organization, especially accommodation and restaurant. So this kind of facility is important for this type of the spiritual retreat tourism. So this another current infrastructure, they need to have a suitable atmosphere. Of course, everyone wants safety, but especially now in Thailand, we have CHA. If any business have a certificate called CHA form TAT, it's a guarantee that that business have go through the safety without COVID-19 or without any other health disease. At least you follow the criteria of the organization. And this is one of the Thailand we have, as soon as we have the event pandemic happen, so when the tourists come to Thailand, they are look for this certificate. They are look for, if you have CHA, I will go to stay in your hotel. If your tour operator follow CHA criteria, okay, we will buy your product. So this is one of in Thailand we have. In Thailand now, actually, even though we say that we are developed that, in terms of spiritual tourism, it still have many things to improve as well. Apart from my 4 or 5 projects about wellness, including religion, non-religion, spiritual, yoga tourism, or even I'm doing adventure tourism for health. And also I do slow food tourism, like how you develop destination for healthy food. It still need to be improved, many things. So how can spiritual and religion tourism be developed? The success is come from based on natural environment, outstanding tourism infrastructure, and a local warm welcome, and also safety and security of the destination. This is one of my results from my study. They're talking about the mindful, spiritual, and religious tourists. They aim to have mind recovery. They said, work-life balance is important for tourists. However, many tourists express that they were not ready to habit and isolate from the world. They still want to have good lifestyle and be healthy in mind and body. Thus, the Center for Spiritual Retreat activity should be built independently away from temple, not to be organized by the monk, because this type of tourism is not about only religion, but it can be linked to religion. However, in my opinion, the tourist said that I want to just have my recovery. I don't want to become a nun. I don't want to become the monk, but I just get away from daily life and then I come out and then I enjoy life again. And this is about the study that I found in my study. So it's come to the end of my suggestion. Spiritual and wellness tourism has become part of the next new normal tourism destination product services. They need to travel for leisure and to have good health, well-being, and mind retreat. Aging trend is very important. Millennial, and also in myself, I will include active aging, retirement people, and spiritual and religion tourism is the answer for the next new normal product and destination development. For religion, spiritual, wellness tourism is emphasized also on cultural heritage, environmental, sustainable, and also about religion tourism. So may I end my presentation today? If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ashton, for your valuable discourse, ranging from case study, research, profile of the participants, religious tourism app, importance of number 9, 3 rings of your research, including pilgrimage sites, religious tourist attractions, and sites of festivals. I'm sure it is very valuable and very informative for our participants. I thank you for your discourse. Moving on, I request you to transfer the host to me so that I can add more participants. Dr. Ashton, kindly transfer the host.
Sorry?
Kindly transfer the host of the meeting.
We have the next speaker, right?
Yes, yes. For sharing the screen, you were made temporarily host. So we are requesting that you may kindly transfer back the host rights to Mr. Aliyar, so he will be able to.
So you can go
okay,
to
sir, who do you want to make host now? I will make the host.
you can make the host, because I can't do that. You are the
Okay,
you are the host.
okay.
You have to go to multiple hosts. Okay.
Okay, I got it. Mr. Yasser, if you are listening, we want to make Mr. Anis Iqbal, researcher, as the next presenter.
Okay.
And the host. Mr. Yasser.
Can you share?
Now I will request Mr. Anis Iqbal, researcher from Pakistan on Buddhist tourism of Pakistan. I would request him to present his discourse on the subject. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aliyar. Good morning to everyone. And I hope you can listen to me.
Yes, we can listen.
Okay. I am very thankful to Trade Development Authority of Pakistan for providing me an opportunity to enlighten the Buddhist heritage, history, and potential of Buddhist religious tourism in Pakistan. I also thankful to Pakistan Embassy Thailand, which support me to bring some tourist groups to Pakistan 2 years before, especially to Mr. Sadakat there. And you know, Pakistan once had a large Buddhist population, with the majority of Buddhists in Gandhara, present-day northwestern Pakistan and eastern Afghanistan. Gandhara remained a large Buddhist land until the end of 9th century. Buddhism first reached that what is now Pakistan during Ashoka's reign, when he sent a monk Mujahantika to preach in Kashmir and Gandhara. Taxila was one of the main cities of Gandhara, which became the central place for the spread of Buddhism, from where his grandfather started struggle to set up Mauryan Empire with the support of Kautilya Chanakya after Alexander the Great left Gandhara. It was same type of Theravada Buddhism recognized in Third Buddhist Council held under the patronage of Emperor Ashoka, which is now being followed in Thailand, with the same spirit of original teachings of Gautam Buddha, being the second largest Buddhist population country in the world after China. King Ashoka put his best efforts to spread Buddhism and built several stupas to house the relics of Buddha, set up monasteries, and erected pillars on which he ordered to inscribe his understandings of religious doctrine. Texla University, Julia, Dharmajika Stupa, and Konula Stupa at Texla, Bir Mount Texla, Butkara Stupa, Swat, Pakistan, Mir Rukun Stupa, Nawab Shah. The construction of these stupas and viharas are credited to Ashoka in Pakistan. Besides this, there are two rock edicts in Pakistan also credited to Ashoka. The first one is in Mansehra, again Swat in Pakistan. Mansehra rock edicts are 14 edicts of Mauryan Emperor of Ashoka. The edicts are cut into 3 boulders and date back to 3rd century BC. And they are written in the ancient Indic script of Gandhara Khroshti. The edict mention aspects of Ashoka Dharma. The site was submitted for inclusion in the World Heritage Sites and is currently in the tentative list. The second rock edict is Shahbazgadi, that is cut into 2 large rock boulders and written in Khroshti script and retains immense historical importance, as they appear to be the first example of writing in South Asia. The rock edicts were added to the UNESCO World Heritage tentative list on 30th January 2004 in the cultural category. But the Mauryan Empire could not retain its rule for too long, and just after 52 years, Buddhists lost its royal patronage of the Mauryan Empire, as the northeastern part of subcontinent of India was subjugated by the Brahmin dynasty led by Pushimitra Shunga, whereas other parts of Indian subcontinent were divided into many states. According to the Buddhist text, Pushimitra treated Buddhism very harshly. He is said to have burned Buddhist monasteries and destroyed stupas. After the fall of Mauryan Empire, the Khyber Pass in northwestern region of Pakistan, Gandhara, left unguarded and subjugated by Indo-Greeks, who became the great patronage of Buddhism, and Pakistan became the central place for the further spread of Buddhism, not only locally, but also internationally. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Swat, Punjab, Sindh, Balochistan, and many cities were the main centers for the expansion of Buddhism under the rule of Indo-Greeks, Indo-Scythians, Parthians, Kushan Empire, and Turkshahi until the 9th century. Interestingly, these all were foreign rulers, and most of them patronized Buddhism as a state religion. In 190 BC, the Greco-Bactrian king Demetrius I began conquest following the destruction of Mauryan dynasty by the general Pushimitra in the northwestern region of Pakistan and Gandhara to reclaim the territories occupied by Alexander the Great 100 years before, and also to protect Greek population settled here and mostly converted into Buddhism during the Mauryan Empire, forming the Indo-Greek kingdom in 180 BC, based in Texla, Sialkot, and Peshawar in Pakistan. Indo-Greeks become the great patrons of Buddhism. One of Indo-Greek king, Maninder, ruled from Texla and later from Sagala, now a famous city of Pakistan, Sialkot, became the Buddhist and is remembered in Buddhist record due to his discussion with the great Buddhist philosopher in the book Milinda. Indo-Greeks introduced the Gandhara school of art and depict Buddha first time in human form. Indo-Greek kingdom collapsed in 10 AD and was succeeded by Indo-Scythians, who also gave royal patronage to Buddhism, and many of their practices apparently continued those of the Indo-Greeks. Several Indo-Scythians kings are known for making Buddhist dedications in their name on plaques or reliquaries. Excavation of the Butkara Stupa in Swat yielded various Buddhist sculptures which belongs to Indo-Scythian period. By around 1st century, the Indo-Parthians dynasty succeeded in taking control of Gandhara. Parthians continued to support Greek artistic traditions in Gandhara. Takht-e-Bahi is included in the World Heritage List, an Indo-Parthian archaeological site of an ancient Buddhist monastery in Mardan. The site is considered among the most important relics of Buddhism in all of Gandhara and has been exceptionally well preserved. Parthians were succeeded by great Kushans who ruled here from 1st century till the end of 4th century, based mainly in Peshawar and Taxila. The Kushans followed the Greco-Buddhism traditions of the Indo-Greeks, and their patronage of Buddhism institutions allowed them to grow a commercial power. Between the mid-1st century and the 3rd century, Buddhism patronized by the Kushans extended to China and other Asian countries through the Silk Road. Kanishka is renowned in the Buddhist traditions for having convened a great Buddhist council that marked the beginning of Mahayana Buddhism, and the leading religious text known as sutras were translated into accessible and more common form of Sanskrit. Along with his predecessors in the region, the Indo-Greek king Manindra I and Emperor Ashoka, Kanishka is considered by the Buddhism as one of the greatest benefactors. During the 1st century AD, Buddhist books were being produced and carried by monks and their trade patrons. Also, monasteries were being established along these land routes that went from China to other parts of Asia. With the development of Buddhist books, it caused a new written language called Gandhara. Scholars are said to have found many Buddhist scrolls that contained the Gandhari language. By the end of 4th century, Kushans were succeeded by Alcon Huns, who were initially supportive of Buddhism, but one of their king, Mihirakula, who ruled from 515 to 540 century, got annoyed with the monk and became rival of Buddhism. Mihirakula in particular is remembered by Buddhist sources to have been a terrible persecutor of their religion in Gandhara and other parts of Indian subcontinent. During his reign, over 1,000 Buddhist monasteries are said to have been destroyed. He ordered the destruction of Buddhism and expulsion of monks. Indeed, the Buddhist art Gandhara, in particular Greco-Buddhist art, became extinct around that period. The last supporter of Buddhism was Buddhist Turk Shahi, who ruled Gandhara from 665 to 870 century, based in Kabul, Afghanistan, and Hund near Sawabi, Swat, Pakistan. Recently, an Italian archaeological mission discovered a unique Turk Shahi period Buddhist temple built in 7th century at Barikot, Swat, Pakistan. The recent discovery could consider extremely important for the understanding of crucial historical phase in late Gandhara. Turk Shahi was replaced by Hindu Shahi that ruled from 850 to 1026 century, which was succeeded by Muslim dynasty of Mahmud Ghaznavi. At that time, the remnants of local Buddhist Turk communities seems to have mingled with the newly arrived Muslim Turks of Samanid Empire, forming an ethnic community among the ruling class of Ghazni, and local Buddhist Turks progressively converted to Islam. The Hindu Shahi resisted from their base in Gandhara until early 11th century, when they were subjugated by Muslim Turk Ghaznavis. After Pakistan came into being 1947, Pakistan government began conservation work of sacred Buddhist sites, and many sites were declared World Heritage Sites by UNESCO, and the conservation work is still going on. Buddhist tourism has an estimated mark of 500 million Buddhists across the world. Pakistan's Gandhara region, comprising Mardan, Texla, and Swat, holds a special place for Buddhist pilgrimages. Korean Buddhists in particular trace their religious origin to the area that is now Pakistan, where Korean monk Haiko traveled 13 years ago. Takht Sabahi in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and the sites in northern Punjab alone have potential to attract a major proportion of 50 million Mahayana Buddhists in Korea, China, and Japan. A 2016 Gallup survey of Buddhist population across a selected pool of countries identified 58 million interested visitors, of which 5%, 2.9 million, were likely to visit Pakistan. Lack of marketing and tourist facilities and absence of functional Buddhist stupas are currently preventing this potential from being realized. Facilitating these tourists and reaching just 1% realization of Pakistan would mean 29,000 visitors a year, with the revenue inflow of 62.9 million in near term. Buddhist tourists can contribute over 16 billion to GDP and provide employment to around more than 30,000 people. There are some other important Buddhist pilgrim sites as well in Pakistan, like Takht Bahi. Takht Bahi is an Indo-Parthian archaeological site of an Asian Buddhist monastery in Mardan. The site is considered among the most important relics of Buddhism in all Gandhara and has been especially well preserved. The Buddhist monasteries was founded in 1st century and was used until 7th century. Texla is a World Heritage Site and known for its collection of Buddhist religious monuments, and as a center of learning Gandharian art of sculptures, architecture, education, and Buddhism in the days of the Buddhist glory. There are over 50 archaeological sites scattered in a radius of 30 kilometers around Texla. Some of the most important sites are Dharmajika Stupa, Monastery, Bir Mount, Sirkap, and Julia University. A silver scroll inscription in Khroshti language and a small gold casket contained some bone relics of Buddha were found here and kept in Texla Museum. Bahmala Stupa is another national heritage site near Haripur, Pakistan, that dates to 2nd century. The site is known for its 1700-year-old statue of Buddha attaining alignment, considered the oldest statue in the world. A centuries-old 48 feet long sleeping Buddha statue dates back to the 3rd century has been unearthed along with more than 500 Buddha-related objects during excavation near Bahmala Stupa. Is considered the world's oldest sleeping Buddha. Mingora, 3 kilometers away from Sadhu Sharif, has yielded magnificent pieces of Buddhist sculpture and the ruins of great stupas. Shingardar Stupa is one of the most famous stupa located in nearby Court. Swat was once a cradle of major strands of Buddhism where 1400 monasteries flourished. It was the home of the famous Gandhara school of sculpture, which was an expression of Greco-Roman form in the local Buddhist tradition. The ruins of great Buddhist stupas, monasteries, and statues are found all over Swat. There are a lot of Buddhist sites all over Pakistan, which needs days to explain. However, I try to cover some important aspects of Buddhism, religious tourism within the given time. Actually, this is all a brief summary of my book, which I just completed on Buddhist heritage and history of Pakistan. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Anis Iqbal Sahab, for your valuable discourse and the history of Buddhist tourism that is associated with this rich culture of Pakistan in respect of religious tourism. Thank you for your address. Now I would request Mr. Farooq Sharif Sahab, Trade and Investment Counselor, Embassy of Pakistan, Bangkok, Thailand, for his presentation on opportunities and challenges of Buddhist tourism for Pakistan in Thailand. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Aliyah. Mr. Yasser, I want to share my screen. Can you, is my screen visible to everybody? Mr. Ali, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ali. Thank you, TDAP, for arranging this very important, I would say, and interesting webinar in consultation with the Embassy of Pakistan. And I am also thankful to the speakers, Ms. Ann, Mr. Anis, and the chief guest, and Mr. The Vice President from PATO, and the Chairman of the TAAP. Thank you all. So the topic of my today's presentation is Thailand's tourist source market in context of Buddhist tourism of Pakistan, potential and preferences. So I will be discussing the current figures and the ways. Yes. This would be the scheme of my presentation. First, I will be discussing the preferred tourist destinations for the Thai people. Then, what are the dynamics of the South Asian market, how Thais are seeing or how Thais are visiting South Asian market. Then the competitors, what countries are the competitors with Pakistan in the Buddhist tourism in our region in the South Asia. Then what are the tourism trends to Pakistan, what Thais know and love about Pakistan. And then we will have focused discussion on focused presentation on the Buddhist tourism, its trends and efforts which Pakistan Embassy has made till date, and the competitive advantages of Pakistan in Buddhist tourism. What are the issues which we are facing, and what should be the way forward. So if we take a look at this, if we take a look at the preferred tourist destinations for Thais in the region, we can see that the top 10 countries have been listed here. That is the Malaysia, Laos, Japan, China, South Korea, Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan, Germany, and UK. Thailand itself is the 8th largest, most popular tourist destination in the world. And 2019, I have taken all the data from the year 2019 because it was the last normal year for the tourism, and hopefully next year will also become normal. So about 40 million people visited Thailand in 2019, and Thailand, interestingly, is also one of very important source market for the tourism. About 10.4 million people in 2019, they have gone out of Thailand to visit other countries. So Malaysia and Laos, both these countries, they share a border with Thailand. So I will not be focusing on them because many people from Thailand to Malaysia will go for the job purposes. And in case of Laos, there is a lot of border trade going on between Thailand and Laos, and many people daily visit Laos and then they come back. So Japan, I would say, is the most important country for the Thai people from the visiting point of view, and majority of the middle class and upper middle class, they prefer to visit Japan. And a lot of very cheap, very handy, and very good tourist packages are available for Japan. The airfares to the Japan are also very less, and so it is. Japan is one of the most popular tourist destinations. Talk about the normal or the general tourism. Then China is the second important destination. China, I would say, is also important from this point of view because many Chinese they have their forefathers from China. They draw their linkages and lineages from China, so they also visit China due to their family linkages also, and also for the trade and for the tourism purposes also. South Korea, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Taiwan are the other list countries. If we talk about the Europe, in the European Union, Germany and UK are one of these two countries are the most popular tourist destinations. Now, if we take a look at the outgoing Thais which are going to the South Asia, the number is about 200,000 people from Thailand. They visit the South Asian countries, and when we talk about South Asia, we're talking about India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. So about 200,000 people visit every year to the South Asia, and if we take a closer look, about 70% of the people which are going to South Asia, they are availing non-package tours, and only 30% people are there traveling in the form of the groups, or they are availing the package tours. So 70% people are either traveling in the form of the family or an individual or in the shape of the couples. So the tourist companies or the tourist operators, they have a lot of potential here. They have a lot of vacuum here, which they can reap by harnessing these 70% of the group of the people. That is a large group which is going to the South Asia on their own, through getting the information from their friends, family, and through the internet. So if we take a closer look, we can see that about 100,000 people visited India in 2019. That is 64% of the total people from Thailand go to Thailand. 64% they visit India. 14% visit Pakistan. That is roughly about 25,000 people every year. To the Nepal is 10%, to Bangladesh 6%, and to the Sri Lanka 5%. So which are the countries which are competing with us in case of Buddhist heritage? So India, obviously, India, they have got the religious linkages, they have got the cultural linkages with the Buddhism. So India is a country which is attracting the most number of Buddhist tourists to the country. The Tourism Ministry of Thailand, Tourism and Sports Ministry of Thailand, they does not contain the separate figures in respect of the people who are visiting for religious purposes. So we can have a very good guess by looking at the number of the people who are going to this country, and we can safely guess that India is the most favorite destination if we get from the tourist religious tourism. Then Pakistan, I would say, is the second in line, Nepal, and that's it. So now look at the figures of the number of tourists which were going to Thailand, Pakistan in the last 5 years. During the year 2015, even less than 3,000 people visited Pakistan. Very minor. The figures, it started jumping, it started rising, fortunately, from 2017 onward. And this is the time period, 2015, 2016, from decision onward, the law and order situation in Pakistan to report. And you can, from this graph, you can look at the law and order situation, or the repetition of the law and order situation, the direct relationship, direct correlation with the number of the people who are coming into Pakistan. Because with the gap of only 1 year, 2017 and 2018, you can see that there is more than 100% jump in the number of tourists. So during 2018, the total number of tourists were about 25,000. The similar number was in 2019. So people know about the places which are available in Pakistan, especially from the scenic and I would say the adventure tourism point of view, and also from the Buddhist tourism point of view. So as Ms. Anne has very ably explained in our presentation, that the case studies which he has mentioned about the Thailand, like the religious tour, worship tours of 9 temples, and the festivals, and how we can brand ourselves. So from this graph, we can see that we have the potential. We can bring a lot of religious tourists, and also the adventure tourists and scenic tourists from Thailand, and the Thais, they know about Pakistan. So in this slide, I have taken some figures and I have taken a look at how much time the Thais are spending in Pakistan when they come to Pakistan and what amount of money they are spending. So in 2019, 2018, there were 24,000 tourists. In 2019, there were 1,000 less tourists. But interestingly, in 2019, the Thai tourists, they spent more money. They spent about $2.5 million, about $2 million more than 2018. What does it tell? It tells that when the tourists start spending money in the country, so it means that they are indulging in the shopping. They are liking to stay there. They are liking to have fun there. So it means that with the passage of the time, the tourists from Thailand, they will start liking the destination and they will start indulging in the local activities. The average length of stay remained at 6 to 7 days, and the average amount which each Thai tourist spent on daily basis was about 148 US dollars per day. Now, I have also took a comparison of what Pakistani tourists spend in Thailand. What are their earnings? You can see that Thais, we earned about 22 million US dollars from Thais in 2019, while the Pakistanis, they spent 142 million US dollars in Thailand. The average length of stay of Pakistani tourists in Thailand was also more. Pakistani tourists, they spent about 10 days in Thailand, and their average spending was also about $40 more than the Thai tourists. It was about 185 US dollars. So we have a comparison that what Pakistanis spend in Thailand and what the Thai tourists spend in Pakistan. So what the Thais love and like about Pakistan? The first thing is this, that the Pakistan's impression has improved a lot during the last 3 or 4 years. When I have met many Thai friends here who have visited Pakistan, I have also met some Thai tourist companies, and some of them have also very graciously joined this webinar, and they're also listening. I also met them a few months back, and from that interaction, which I have learned that after the post visits, the visitors, they have quite very interesting and very positive reviews about the Pakistan. The hospitality and warmth of the people of the Pakistan is the first thing which they always mention. Then the second thing which they mention is the mountains and the northern areas of the Pakistan. When they mention the mountains, they never ever they forget to talk about Hunza. Hunza, I would say, the people who are visiting, Thai people who are visiting the northern areas of Pakistan, Hunza is one of the most lovable destination. And as Ms. Anne previously described very ably in her presentation, that basically it is the local culture, unique